HMAR Mobile Tech channel, and today I got a 2010 Toyota Corolla 1.8 liter with a no crank, no start, no power once you turn the key on. Nothing works. Headlights don't work, nothing works, but the battery's fully charged. So, you don't have to be an automotive electrical genius to work on cars and fix simple problems like this. As long as you do these three things: be thorough, do the basics brilliantly, and use your critical thinking in order to find out what the problem is. So I'll put my digital multimeter on the 20 setting here, so it's going from 0 to 20 volts. And I'll show you the battery voltage here, 12.7. So the battery is completely 100% fully charged. So I'm going to put the key in the ignition, and this just came to me on a tow truck, and I got it into my garage. And then I just put the key in to verify the customer's complaint, because the customer's complaint was it wouldn't start. So then I put the key in, I turned it on to the second position, and then turn it that momentary amount that sends the control power to the starter, and nothing happens. So I'm just turning it and nothing's happening at all. No lights, nothing on in the dash, everything's off, no power to anything. Now I'm at the point here that I'm going to just do some basic tests here to verify what we have going on here. So what I like to do is I like to put this onto continuity, and what this is going to do is this is just going to give me a quick answer. All I want to know is that this main fuse here that provides B+ positive power to this distribution center here, and it's a 120 amp alternator fuse, which is basically the main fuse that prevents this thing from catching fire if you reverse jump start a battery or have some kind of an overload somewhere in the circuit. So what I want to do here is I want to verify that my distribution center has power. So I'm going to touch one end here, and it doesn't matter which one you use, because all I'm doing is testing from one end to the other. So there's a little stud here, it looks like a 10mm bolt. And so if you can hear my digital multimeter, it's making a little chime here. So on this first stud here, we got full continuity. And then here we got full continuity. Then what I want to do is I want to just check some of these other fuses. There's an unused relay or fuse here. I can touch this, and I got power. And then I can check a couple of these fuses here and see that we got power. So we got power going to all these fuses. So I don't have any doubt about from the positive battery post to the power distribution center, I don't have any doubt about if we have power. So I know we have power. 100%, everything's good, we got power, everything's good there. Now, this isn't going to be the same on every single car, but just to give you an example, I've got a 40 amp fuse here, and some of them could look like this, and you would just go and touch between the two, and you see that you've got, on the meter, it shows 3 zeros, and you'll hear the little continuity buzzing sound. And then sometimes you'll find them looking like this. And this is just a 50 amp, but they could be 80, 100, 120. And then you just touch here gently, and touch here, and then you'll see you got your 3 zeros, and you'll see that the little horn is making noise, so we know that we have continuity. So what I have found so far up to this point, critical thinking, just being thorough, testing everything, is that I know that it is not the power side, the positive side, that we have an issue with. So the only other thing that we could have an issue with, there could be more things, but in this case, and it's usually pretty simple, a lot of times, I always tell my customers, and I always tell people this, most of the time that I have an issue with a car, whatever the problem is, 50% of the time or more, it's simple, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you another test we can do. And here I'm going to be testing the ground side. And I have a little amp meter here that's going to measure the amperage going through the circuit. And I really hope all this is you can see all of this in the camera. Okay, so it shows here. Now, you can use a 12 volt test light. See, I know that my positive side is good. So what I want to do is verify that, first of all, my test light works. Always verify your equipment works, okay? And so I know that that works, and then I know I got ground all the way down here. I know I got it. But I'm going to go over here, and I don't have ground. There's a little ground wire here, and then over here there's another ground wire. So you'll just have to take my word for it. There's just a bolt that goes through that's got a wire that is probably a sensor ground, and we got another main ground over here. They just have like a little ring terminal here, and then they have a couple of wires coming off. So back over here, and there's in various places all over vehicles, depending on the model. The only thing that could change is the location of them. So Toyotas are usually, Japanese cars are always going to be something like here. I've seen them on American made and European. So right up here on the valve cover. So this test light can get you in trouble. Now, in this case, it's not, because I've got a total loss of power. Now, if we had like a mediocre ground, it would light up, but it doesn't even do that, okay? So now I'm going to show you what the hell is going on with this car and all these electrical gremlins. So as you can see here, I've got just a 12 volt headlight. This is what I like to use to check circuit integrity, to see. This is going to pull probably somewhere between 7 and maybe 10 amps, something like that, okay? And so I'm going to show you here exactly what it's pulling with my amp clamp meter connected around this positive side wire. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to connect my other end to ground, and you can see my headlight works, okay? So I'm right at the post, and I got about 4 amps. Now I'm going to come over here, and if you have like a mediocre ground, this will stress the system, and the resistance that's causing the issue with the ground side, we're not going to see this headlight turn on. Or something that's got more power, maybe you could wire 2 headlights together or whatever to test the integrity of your ground, but this is doing a lot, and I've got nothing over here, and I'm scratching it with the alligator end, and I got nothing. I got no connection anywhere. So what is going on here is that if you have positive power going to the distribution center but you don't have ground, well, everybody should know that you need to have positive and negative for a circuit to become alive. So the PCM, which is right here, isn't turning on, and none of the sensors, nothing's turning on. Nothing's able to turn on without a ground, okay? So how I know that this is a problem is from all of these different tests that I just did. The ground side is the issue. And what I did was I took a screwdriver and tapped on the ground that connects from the negative side here on the battery, this clamp in the post all the way down there, and then everything turned on. But then I went to turn the key, and nothing happened, and lights turned on momentarily, and everything turned off. So there's a ground high resistance in the ground circuit that's big enough that is not allowing even the headlights to turn on or even the little lights in the instrument cluster. So I hope I was as thorough as I can possibly be with this test. I will show you the after, and then, it's not going to be spectacular, but I'll show you what I did to fix it, and I'll let you know how everything works just here in a little bit. So in my time, it's probably going to be about 30 minutes. In your time, it's going to be like a second. So I'll be right back. because there was a ton of resistance on the ground side of the circuit, and that was causing the complete total loss of power and making this a no crank, no start, no power anywhere when you turn the key. So repairing, cleaning up, and retightening all those bolts and adding a second ground wire and a terminal fixed it. And the new terminal that I put on, and then down there I cleaned up everything and torqued everything. And then I ran a new red cable over here, and I torqued those 2 bolts down there. I torqued the smaller 10mm one to about 8 foot-pounds, and then I put the other 12mm bolt that I actually put in because the other 10mm bolt that was there was stripped out. So I ran a tap in there, and I cut threads to put a 12mm bolt in there and a washer. And just because I didn't want this issue to happen again, I ran a second ground here, and then I torqued this one to about 12 foot-pounds. So that 12mm, 12 foot-pounds, the 10mm, 8 foot-pounds, and I got it all connected up. In the next clip, I'll show you the result. So I got power back everywhere, and that was a little bit weird, but anyway, starts. This is the first start since I got it towed off the tow truck into my garage, so all good. If you follow these steps and do what I tell you to do, like I always say, do the basics brilliantly. Subscribe, like, and share. Appreciate you watching. See you on the next video.